Hello friends, I'm Kshetra. Welcome back again to my video. I'm here again with a new concept in Java, that is multithreading. I'm sure most of y'all must be a bit confused with multithreading as I am. Yes, even I am a bit confused, but I have some clarity. I would like to give you all that clarity today. So let's get started with our video multithreading today, okay? So this video will basically cover about the introduction to multithreading and the differences between multiprocessing and multithreading, as the differences are very essential to learn of multithreading before we learn the differences. So now first let's get started with the multitasking and multiprocessing. Here multiprocessing is nothing but multithreading. So let's see these differences. Basically, I'm sure everyone must be aware with the definition of multitasking. Yeah. What do you mean about multitasking? Yes, you all are right. Multitasking is nothing but simultaneously doing a number of tasks at the same time is called as multitasking. Yeah, now multi-threading is also something like that only. Multi-threading is nothing but you're just dividing the program, that is one process, into n number of parts so that all work together simultaneously. That is called as multi-processing or multi-threading. Basically, the bookish definition which we have for multitasking would be adding some CPUs to the processor, which increases the processor power, is called as multitasking. And multiprocessing is nothing but dividing a single process into multiple threads so that it increases the computing power. And multitasking is basically an operating system concept, since we're adding a number of CPUs to the processor, whereas multiprocessing is a programming concept, that is multithreading. So multitasking is processes are executed concurrently, that is different a number of processes are executed concurrently, whereas multiprocessing is one process is divided into a number of processes. I've told you all. So basically a single process is working at a time. So that would be the difference again. The next, when we are trying to switch from one process to another process, that takes a lot of cost. It is really cost efficient, whereas multiprocessing is only one process we are working, so it's not at all cost efficient. And the switching is done between as I've told you all, it is done between different processes. Here it is done within a same program, and this would be an operating system concept, whereas this would be a programming, as I've repeated, I'm sorry. Multitasking is symmetric or asymmetric depending upon the processes, whereas multi-threading is not at all classified. And multitasking, as it is expensive also, it is obviously less efficient, whereas multi-threading, it is not expensive and it is more efficient. And multitasking is time consuming and resource intensive as compared to multi-threading, whereas multi-threading is economical in both sense, time and resource. Okay, so basically that would be the differences between multiprocessing and and multi-threading. So as we have learned the differences between multiprocessing and multi-threading, I would like to tell you all about the advantages of multi-threading. Yeah, basically advantages are told for every process at the ending, but in this process I would like to tell you all about the advantages beforehand itself. The main reason of telling advantages of multi-threading before is because this shows us the whole video, that is why is threading used instead of multi-processing. Okay, so that's why I would like to tell you all the differences before. So let's see the differences. That is nothing but basically in multi-processing, the processor has to wait for another process to come up, so in between during multiprocessing, so that would increase the idle time. Sometimes the process wait some more time, that is ideal time would be more in that. Whereas in multi-threading, since it is in one process only, all thing is done, so the ideal time of the microprocessor in this way it would be reduced. And the performance, as I've told, it is since efficient, the performance also would be improved. And there would be no deadlock situations in case of multi-threading, which would be in multiprocessor, that is different processes asking for the same resource at the same time is called as deadlock situation. We can avoid the situation in multi-threading by prioritizing the threads, which increases the responsiveness of them and does not create any deadlock situations. So because of multi-threading, it also it removes the interference between the execution and user interference, because the user does not have to interact every time. Once a program is created and just put, it does its work at the time, and after the program is done, then we need to create another program and put, so there would be not much interference. So next, basically let's see where else we use, like every Java program uses threads. What does that mean? What is a thread? The basic definition of thread. The basic definition of thread would be, it is a set of executable instructions that are executed independently. So basically a thread, the definition which I would like to tell you all is, a thread is a lightweight process, that is, since a program is divided into a number of things, subprograms, that would be called as a thread, and that is a lightweight process. That process, every process set of instructions which are run independently, and each thread is independent of each other but shares the information with each other. And a thread is divided into different life cycles. Each and every thread follows the same life cycle. That would be a born state, runnable state, running state, and block state, and dead state. Born state is, as the thread is born, that is a born state. This doesn't mean that as a thread is born it gets started. We need to use a start method, which we will see in detail in the next video. So next is runnable state. A runnable state is when the thread has been waiting for the processor to get started. This is the runnable state. Basically a runnable state is not present of the life cycle, but for our understanding purpose we have created a runnable state. The next running state is when the thread has been started and it's being executed. This is called as a running state. Block state, sometimes during the running state the thread enters the block state due to the suspend method and the other methods which we will see. So basically when it is taking rest, and after some time, after the suspend, after it gets resumed using the resume method into the running state, that time it comes out of the block state. Dead state is after the successful completion of all the states in the thread, then the thread enters into the dead state, that it is being killed naturally. Sometimes it does not complete the whole process of, that is the whole life cycle of the thread, but it enters into dead state immediately. This would be an unnatural death. Then let's see in general purpose where we use threads. That is, we use already before we have not, when we have not known the concept of thread also, still we are using threads. We must have not noticed that. So let's see where we are using that. That would be basically all the Java program uses threads. Even a JVM uses threads. That is, normally when we created a simple program also in Java, the main method, it creates a thread. That is method when we have two programs, right? One would be the main method area, and another would be a normal where we have the execution area. So to call the program's main method, within that we have a thread, main thread, and calls the main program. And the JVM also creates thread which are every time invisible for us. That those threads are used for garbage collection and object finalization and other JVM housekeeping task. Object finalization is which object is necessary, which object is frequently called, and which has to be removed and thrown into garbage. These are all called as object finalization. And even threads are very much used in abstract window toolkit. This is nothing but in applets, which we will learn in next videos later. So basically everywhere in Java threads are very essential. So without us knowing also we have used threads. So in the later videos let us study about these threads and its states in detail. So I hope you all liked today's video. If you all really liked my video, please follow the above link which you all have. And if you all have any queries about this video, please do comment. I would really love to answer your comments. Thank you for watching, and please watch my next videos also. Bye guys.